Today on Rising Star, we meet 16-year-old race car prodigy Giovanni Bromante, who at 4 years old won his first race and since then has won hundreds of races, including the 2019 Blizzard Series. Let's meet Giovanni. Hi, Giovanni.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
You're wearing your race car outfit. I'm wearing my race car outfit. What do you think?
It's nice and orange.
It's nice and orange? Yeah. You think my shoe game is good for it? No?
Yeah, you might not reach the pedals.
Okay. Well, you know, sometimes fashion is the race you have to win. So I know you started racing at 4, but you just didn't pick up a wheel and say, I'm going to race. So tell me, how did it start?
It all started when my grandpa was tuning on these cars, and he always used to build hot rods in his garage for these people. And I always used to be in his garage helping him and learning about these hot rods. And every Sunday he would bring me on the couch and we would watch NASCAR. And he would always put it into my mind that this is what you have to do. So I started when I was 4 years old. I started in go-karts at the Nassau Coliseum. And ever since then, I just got that feeling of winning in a race car or a go-kart. And this is what I wanted to do.
Now, when you think about racing, I mean, I don't know, like, you know, I drive and my parents still worry because I can be a little wild every now and then. But at 4 years old, you decide, you know that this is the feeling you love and you grow and it's consistent. How did your family support you?
They just love me all through it. It's a big commitment for me and the family. I'm gone most of the time. I missed a lot of school and I was never home. So for them to keep on helping me and telling me what I have to do was really big.
And there is a lot to do when it comes to racing, is that right?
Yes, a lot.
But one thing I want to highlight is that you are in school, and if I'm right, you are an A student. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, how do you maintain the balance of being an A student and then you work, right? Mm-hmm. And then you race? How do you do all that? Because I'm thinking about doing all of that. I don't know if I can pull it off.
I mean, it helps. I'm in online school, mm-hmm. so I can get a lot done in one day, and I won't have to worry about it once I go racing or when I'm working. So I can do school in the morning for a couple hours, and I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. So, and with working, I just go there and I work, and it's kind of fun for me because it's outside of racing, and I get to do something a little different.
How do you prepare for a race? Like, what is it like? Like, you know, and do you know, just think about what you're going to do? Like, what does it encompass to get ready for a race?
So 2 weeks before a race, I start drinking a gallon of water a day and sometimes 1 to 2 bottles of Pedialyte. In these race cars, it gets super hot, over 130 degrees. And in the summer, in the South, it's super hot out. So to have all this engine heat and everything, you have to prepare. And I always work out almost every day. It's all about the core strength. These race cars, they go really fast, and when you have these G-forces on you and you're going 300 laps, it's pretty hard to last that long. And it's about 3 hours, so it takes a while, and you're draining a lot of water out of your body, and you have to be prepared.
So let's talk about, you said G-force races, and core strength. So when you talk about core strength, you're talking about the muscles in your chest. That's what you're getting strength for, right?
Yes.
And when you say G-force, that's the air that pushes against you in the car?
No, I think G-force, it's forcing you, so you're in your seat, mm-hmm. and it's forcing you into the seat, like that. So you have to hold your body up. But you're strapped in, and you have a Hans device, which makes your neck not move. Right. But to hold yourself up, and some of these tracks, you go into the corner, and your eyes are closing, because you're hitting 5 to 6 Gs, and your body's not made for that. Right. So it's almost like driving a fighter jet. So I have a silly question, right? Because I don't know race cars. You said it gets to 130 degrees in the car. Why don't you have air conditioning? It slows down the car. It's more weight in the car, and the less weight that you have on the car, and so it's 2 pounds. If you can put that 2 pounds somewhere else on the car to make it turn better or make it go faster, It's just better. All I have is a water bottle. So under caution, when people wreck, you just take a little sip of your water bottle and you go back racing.
Okay, I'm gonna need a water bottle. Okay, so let's talk about being inside the car, right? So I already know, you just said that you're in a harness, you're strapped in, you're doing core training for your muscles, so that way you can stand up properly. What about when you are, and you're saying that your eyes are closing. Talk about, how do you navigate in the car like that? What tools you're using to do that?
You're using your reflexes, definitely your eyesight.
And how do you, and the thing is, it's not just you on the track, right? I mean, I know you're driving, but there's a team behind you.
Yeah.
How does your team help you while you're in the car?
So I have a spotter. The spotter tells me if there's a car behind me, inside of me, outside of me. So he's a big factor when I'm in the race car. But other than that, it's only me in that race car. And the team, they help me get to victory lane, and they do all they can. They tune on the car, they make it go faster, and I wouldn't be able to win any races without them. But when you're on that racetrack in a race, it's only you in the car.
And I want to backtrack a little bit, because it is only you in the car, and I got questions for you, that one. But what does a spotter do? So when you say spotter, are they telling you to go faster? Are they telling you to move to the left or to the right? What does that mean?
So a spotter, if a car's inside of you, he'll say inside, he's at your quarter panel, he's at your door, he's even. So I don't have any mirrors. So all I'm seeing is in front of me. So to have him and for him to tell me where the cars are is a big factor in racing.
I didn't realize you guys didn't have mirrors.
Yeah.
On the car. I'm learning a lot. So there's no air conditioning, there's no mirrors. So basically what you're saying is, if I'm in the car, I just got to be ready to go.
The goal's ahead of you.
Goal's ahead of me. See, I thought I was going to race with you at some point. I'm going to just forfeit now, because I need mirrors and I need to see my face. I need to be able to be like, hey girl, how you do? Yes, you can. Nope. Not even like a little mirror, like a little tree, like a little tree hanging. Okay, all right, I've learned something. When you are on the track, you said the road is in front of you. How do you mentally prepare for that? Do you expect to win every time you get on the track? Is that the thought you go in with, or is there something else?
That's the hope every time. But to finish in top 3, top 5 every race, and to have a clean race car with no damage, and to be finishing every race, and of course winning, is really good.
I want to talk about the people you're racing with, because you're 16 years old, and in these races that you're racing, and right now, help me, you are racing, or you were racing in the super late models, and you're transitioning out
to ARCA and NASCAR.
ARCA NASCAR. But in your race, in this super late car, it's not only 16-year-olds, right?
Yep.
What's the age range? Is it 4 to 8? I mean, I know it's not 4 to 8, but what's the age range?
I think you can get into the super late model when you're 13 or 14. And I mean, there's 50-year-old guys in there.
Who you're competing with.
Yes.
And actually beating.
Yeah.
How do you feel, how do they receive you when you're on the track?
At first, they're like, who's this kid? They're beating me. And they race for money. And I'm taking all their money. So you have to earn their respect, because they've been doing this for years, probably longer than I've been alive. And to earn their respect and to race them cleanly is more important.
Well said. Well said. So now, can we geek out together?
Sure. Let's
talk about your car. So what are you driving, and what are some of the key features of it?
It's a super late model. It has about 650 horsepower. Can reach up to 150 to 160 miles an hour on a half-a-mile circle track. So it has a lot of power, and it's only about 2,200 pounds. So to have that much power and to be that light, you get going pretty fast.
Yeah, I'd get going pretty fast. And let's just set some perspective for people. So traditional cars have what? 50 horsepower?
300.
300 horsepower? So my car has like 300 horsepower and yours has how many?
650.
That's double the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of parking tickets and speeding tickets for me. So you're transitioning out. You just won the 2019 Blizzard Series. How did that feel?
It felt great. Going into that race, I wrecked out a couple times. I won the first race, but it was just a bunch of up and downs. And to go into that last race and to win that championship was really big.
Did it register when you came out the car that you won? Did you know you had won, or did somebody have to tell you? Like, what is it like? Like, do you get out and you're like, I am the champion? Or you get there and you're like, did I qualify?
Well, I got out of the car. I don't keep up with points a lot. So I got out and they handed me this big trophy. And I was like, I didn't win. And I got second place. And they're like, you won the championship. I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome.
Just awesome.
It's awesome.
I think it's like extravagant, like super cool. So what does this mean for you now, winning the Blizzard Series?
It's just another big thing to put on my resume. To have a lot of people don't win this. The last guy that won it, he won it 3 times in a row. And he's 35 years old, close to there. And he's a veteran. So to add my name onto this roster is really big. And it's just a big confidence booster.
Okay. I didn't win, but I feel pretty confident, especially for you. Who do you look up to in the racing world?
Definitely Kyle Busch. He drives great. His attitude's great, and he just always has the goal of winning.
One of the things you said was that either you have it or you don't. What are the things that you think, if you could not quantify it, but explain it, what are the things that Kyle has that you say that he has that? I think every great racer has that. What is it that makes him great?
He just has that drive.
Pun intended?
He has that drive that a lot of people do, but he just has that little extra kick. And he can just put the pedal to the metal, and he can win almost every race if everything lines up.
And does everything line up for you sometimes?
It's racing. You never know what happens.
And you still get in the car?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your goals? What is the end goal? Is there an end goal in racing? Is there a time age? Is there a point where you're like, I'm going to stop at 15? Well, not 15 for you. You're 16. But at like 50, at 20, what is the goal for you?
My goal is to make it to the Monster Energy Cup Series. You could race until you're 50 years old. That's the end goal, and that's all I want to do.
That's all you want to do? For anyone who's watching, anyone who's like, I think I want to become a race car driver, young or old, what's your advice to them?
You just have to be humble, and you have to know that you want to do it. It's a serious commitment for you and your family. And you just start out in a go-kart. Just go to a go-kart track and rent it out and see how you like it. So
that's great. That's great advice. I know that I never won a race. I actually got into, I think I'm saying a Vendador, Huracan.
Yeah.
I tried it, and I nearly lost my mind. And somebody was driving me, and we were going around a track, and it was a lot. And I guess now that I know, because you taught me, that G-force was on me real. So kudos to you, and I think your advice is super valid, because I tried it, people. You will not see me. You'll see me on the highway, but not on the racetrack. So if people want to keep up with what you're doing, keep up with how you're moving and progressing through your career, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can look on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, basically anywhere you look on any social media platform, I'm there.
Well, I thank you for joining me and sharing your story. I wish you much success. You won't catch me on the track, but maybe we'll race like little toy cars. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's
okay. Let's shake on
good.
that. I can do that. All right. If you know anyone who's a rising star, or if you are a rising star, please send us an email at the address below, info@nstv.org. We would love to have you or meet this person you think is wonderful as well. Again, thank you to my guest, Giovanni, for coming on. I'm your host, Karleen Leveille. Thank you for watching.